Hi everyone, I'm Sid Solomon, and I'm on my walk to work. And today I want to talk about anti-racism, what it is and why it's important, and what it has to do with us at Actors Equity. So let me start by just saying very clearly, we have anti-racism work to do at Equity. That's just a fact. But it's a fact that I have often heard Equity members struggle to acknowledge. And I'll tell you what they've said. I've had members say to me, well, Sid, I am not racist. I don't prejudge people based on their race. And my fellow Equity members that I know, they are not racist. And the Equity staff members and Equity counselors that I know, they are not racist. So how can it be that we have all of this anti-racism work to do as a union? And I understand where they're coming from. Because in this country, the ways that we have historically taught about racism, especially if you're a person who looks like me, we are so often taught that racism is something that lives solely in a person's heart or in their mind. We're taught as young kids, if you want to be a good person, you should not judge people based on the color of their skin, their race, their ethnicity. And if you don't do that, then you will not be racist, and that's how we solve racism. The part that gets missed, though, is that racism is a structural, systemic issue. That racism and white supremacy are baked into basically every institution in this country. Our civic institutions and our private institutions, including our unions, including Actors Equity. Actors Equity is and always has been a predominantly white institution. It was founded in 1913. It should be a surprise to nobody that there is racism and white supremacy built into our structures. So I am hopeful that we currently have a majority of the National Council that believes that we have anti-racism work to do. Because the first step in solving any problem is acknowledging that you have a problem. We can certainly be helped, though, by electing as many candidates as we can in this election cycle who are willing to state clearly and publicly and enthusiastically that they are committed to doing anti-racism work. I'm also encouraged by the extraordinary diversity and inclusion staff that we have at Equity and the work that they have done. Really, the D&I retrofit that I hope that you've heard about has been sort of a point-by-point, piece-by-piece breaking down of the structures at Equity and finding the ways in which there are these systemic structural flaws in the ways that we have historically operated and making recommendations for how we need to change them. But there's only so much that the staff can do because unions are member-led, member-run organizations. And ultimately, the policies of the union and the changing of the policies of the union is up to the National Council, the board of directors of the organization. So, I encourage you, as you consider candidates to mark off on your ballot this year, reach out to them, read their platforms, look at their statements, see if they are talking about inclusion, see if they're talking about equity, about justice, about anti-racism, about dismantling white supremacy, and being willing to acknowledge the problems that we have and to be in a continuing cycle of listening and adjusting and working to build us toward a more perfect, inclusive, anti-racist union. I'm committed to that work. I look forward to being able to do it, along with a number of allies and co-conspirators that I'm very excited about serving alongside. I'm Sid Solomon, and I'll see you on my next walk to work.